Hi, my name's TJ Johnson, and before we get this show started, I want everybody to know that I own this stage. Now, after I'm done telling you what I'm about to share with you, I want to be regarded as a man for any job. And what that means is somebody who can complete any task, perform any job, be put into any career field, and have the complete package. Most careers and professions require more than just subject matter knowledge. What that means is any knowledge that you've gained from school, that you've learned from reading a book, that you've studied for to complete a test or a certification, and all that looks good on paper. But as a matter of fact, most jobs can be competently performed with three things. Number one, people skills. Two, problem solving skills. And three, technical skills. Now, as I've reflected on my life and all the jobs that I've held in the past, I've often wondered why I've held so many. Now let me give you a little story and a little background to set this up. My first employment opportunity was at Subway in a mall, and I was at 16 years old. Now I quickly learned after about 6 months that I did not want to be in the food industry anymore. Now, no offense to anybody who's in the food industry. I'm sure it's a great career field and people who are in it love it and do well at it, but it's not for me, and I'll give you a hint why. Making tuna salad. Now, where I'm at now is in environmental emissions monitoring. As a field service engineer in that career field, I work at a coal-fired steam plant. And when you burn coal, it produces an element known as mercury. Well, as most of you know, mercury is carried out of the atmosphere and lands in the ocean, and trace amounts are found in fish, including tuna. So I guess you could say I've come full circle. Now, to make it to where I am today has led me to believe that all the jobs that I've held have had to do something for me. They've had to give me some sort of experience, some sort of knowledge. Well, and I think that's true. And because of those jobs, I have the skill set that I have today that I believe would benefit any employer. Now, employers want to know that the person they're hiring is someone who is well-rounded and isn't just book smart. That's going back to what I was talking about with having more than just subject matter knowledge. They could be hiring somebody who has a 4.0, graduated college with, made a 32 on their ACT, is very smart, very brilliant. But if they don't have the three things that I talked about, they're probably not going to be worth very much. Now, that's where I come in, because I do have those three skills, and I've developed this skill set over time. I can be inserted into almost any situation and excel due to that skill set. Now, the reason I've developed that desired skill set is because I've held a wide variety of jobs. I've come out of college, I've worked while I was in college, I worked after college, and many people who are hired with just book smarts, they haven't done that. They haven't experienced a wide variety of jobs. Okay? Now, I'm sure you're wondering how I can have this plug-and-play mentality. Well, to start off with, I do understand that there are several jobs out there that require a specific knowledge of that you had to go to school for, such as an aerospace engineer, a surgeon, a lawyer, somebody like that. Now, those, I believe, are the exception, because most jobs out there don't require that. I believe that they're not limited to hiring people who have a specific degree type. Now, if you hire somebody with those three skill sets, they can fill a wide variety of roles within your company or that career field or profession. And that's something that I can do because of all the jobs that I've held in the past, where I've had to learn how to work effectively with people. I've had to learn how to solve problems and overcome tasks and obstacles, and having technical expertise that I've learned over time. And I'm going to break down what all that means and how they apply to the value that I bring. Now, that's starting off with people skills. People skills are very important for effective communication and cooperation. And now, in order to maintain that cooperation, and communication, you have to complete tasks in the workplace. You have to get jobs done, okay? But in order to get those jobs done, you have to be able to work with people, okay? So how I've been able to work with people is I've learned how to be personal and approachable. Okay, I've learned my co-workers' likes and dislikes. I've genuinely taken interest in them, so I know about their lives. I've tried to be sincere and actually grow in relationships with them, and I've opened myself up to being approached in any situation because of my developed gentleness, kindness, and understanding. So they know that they can come to me. And I'll give you a story real quick. I worked as a thrift store worker in college, and I had a manager ahead of me. She was a person in authority, and I remember this lady. A lot of times you would walk in and she almost had like a sour face. She just was one of those people that just they just had a scowl, just all the time. And her name was Kathy, and I remember, coming up to her a few times, just to lighten the mood, because I knew that if I could, get her into a good mood for that day, that things would go a lot smoothly for me, and we would be able to work together and get jobs done. And I'd say, "Hey, Kathy, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day today. I'm ready to get going to work." And I'm telling you, almost every time that would lighten her mood. So opening up those communications lines allows you to work effectively with people. And another thing, having people skills requires you to get out of your comfort zone and compromise, especially when you get into an argument, or you get into certain issues with your coworkers, or even your customers. And sometimes you'll have a differing view or opinion than your coworker or your customer, and you've had to compromise. I've had to do that before. Also, working with customers, they can be difficult, especially in sales. And, say they're bringing something back, and the product that you gave them, that you completed for them, the job that you did for them, you may not have done as good of a job that you should have, or something went wrong, and they're coming back angry with you. Well, emotions can get in the way and get involved, but keeping a cool head goes a long way in communicating with people. Problem-solving skills is the second thing we're going to talk about, and it is very important in order to overcome obstacles in the workplace. Now, obstacles can arise when there is a task that needs to be done. Okay? Obstacles almost always arise in a job, otherwise it wouldn't be a job. In order to meet deadlines, complete a job, anything like that, I've had to think outside the box and work through adversity and problems that have arisen. And the way I do that is I'll take a step back from the problem. I'll start to think. I'll think about things that I know, things that are true, things that I've been doing right, and then I'll list the things that I don't know. And I'll figure out why I don't know those things in order to complete that task and solve that problem. Now, troubleshooting is a big thing that I've learned holding the jobs that I've held in the past, especially in the military. Now, problems that occur on an aircraft, they don't fix themselves. So I had to troubleshoot and find a solution to alleviate that problem quickly, and that is of the utmost importance because of time. Now, I've had to solve problems with others working in a team environment, and a lot of times that's been to complete a job or work out disagreements between coworkers. Now, I believe solving problems with others works hand in hand with using effective communication and having people skills. I think those join together. I've had to work with coworkers in order to solve problems to complete a job or a project, because many times having two unique ways of thinking puts a different perspective on how to solve that problem. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is technical skills. Now, where I've gained technical skills is in the military as an avionics technician. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what's avionics? Well, it stands for aviation electronics. And avionics encompasses all electrical components on aircraft that control functions that such as communication, navigation, guidance, fuel systems, electronic warfare. So in other words, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. And knowing which components affect which systems contributes to the technical skills that I have involving electronics. I've also acquired technical skills while working as the field service engineer that I mentioned earlier. And as a service engineer, I know what it means to work in the field of environmental emissions monitoring, and for my job in that field, that requires an expertise in electronics and mechanics. So we work with a lot of things that are involved in mechanical, electrical, and software technology. So I have to be able to turn a wrench, I have to be able to shoot wires, I have to be able to work on a computer. That encompasses all those things. So in this day and age, having a expertise in technology goes a long way. So in conclusion, I believe that jobs take on many forms and require different skill sets. However, I think many people have the common misconception that certain jobs are unreachable for them just because they may not have the right degree or the experience that it takes. So I think that having those 3 skills that I mentioned, number 1 being people skills, number 2 being problem solving skills, and the third being technical skills, that they will be able to complete any job and be put in and plugged into any career field. And that's where I stand out above the rest. So thank you for your time.